Some people may not help, even though they might be for the project. Now we're on the cusp of another presidential election, and it seems as if this cycle began a very long time ago. And frankly, the cycle started when the congressional elections ended 2 years ago. Some people are very excited and are willing to volunteer to help their candidates. Others will quietly give money, but not their time. Others will be on board and will vote, but do nothing else. Well, if you're joining us in going through the books of Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther, today's reading is Nehemiah 3, verses 24 through 32, and I encourage you to read that passage. Well, Nehemiah 3, verses 26 and 27 says this: "The temple servants living in Ophel made the repairs as far as the front of the water gate towards the east and the projecting tower. And after them, the Tekoites repaired another section in front of the great projecting tower as far as the wall of Ophel. Now the Tekoites were from a town by the name of Tekoa, which was just kind of south of Jerusalem. Amos was from Tekoa. Amos 1:1 tells us that. These people seem to have a very giving and volunteer spirit behind them. But they also had rulers who were not interested in performing any work. It is written in verse 5 of this chapter that some of the nobles were not interested, nor did they support the work of their supervisors. Frankly, they really didn't care about the project. This situation is also true in the Christian world. As I've mentioned before, there is an old saying about 20% of the people doing 80% of the work. This truism is basically giving us an idea of our human nature. If we believe that there is something in it for us, we will tend to do the work. If not, we will tend not to do the work. And the truth is in the church and in the world around us. But this type of thinking is not what God wants us to do. He wants us to be out front. He wants us to be the ones who are doing the work, not the ones who are watching. Matthew 28, verses 19 through 20 is a clear example of what Jesus wants us to do. We are to make disciples. The verb to make is in the active voice, meaning it's one that we're supposed to focus on this activity. We're to do this activity actively. We are to be actively working as we walk in our relationship with Christ. And when we are finished with one project, we should move quickly on to another project, just as the Tekoites did. Our jobs are not done until we are standing before Christ. Now, it's easy for us to have others do the work. I'm now getting into my 70s, and I could say, I know that there are younger people out there than me, and it is time for them to kind of step up. And part of that sentence would be correct, but another part of it would be simply wrong. I will be 70 in September, but until I am standing before Christ, my job is to do as much as I can do and live my life in such a way that people will come to Him. We are in a world that wants to get the most out of it for the minimum of effort. We should change that. Our attitude should be that we should get the most out of the maximum of effort.